Now, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, man.
How are you doing?
Yeah, fine. Thank you, man.
Okay, I'm doing well, thank you. So, what special occasion are we celebrating today?
Girls' Child Day.
Can't hear you.
Girls' Child Day.
The World Girls Child Day. And what's the theme for today's celebration? Who knows the theme for today's celebration? Let's hear you. We can't hear you. I'm sorry? No? No? You can read it.
Invest in girls' rights, our leadership, our well-being.
Thank you. Invest in girls' rights. Say it after me. Invest in girls' rights,
Invest in girls' rights,
our leadership,
our leadership,
our well-being.
our well-being.
Invest in girls' rights,
Invest in girls' rights,
our leadership,
our leadership,
our well-being.
our well-being.
Now, today, all around the world, people are celebrating the girl child. Everyone is talking about how to support the girl child to be the proper woman she should be in the society. And that's why we are gathered again today to discuss what is the significance of celebrating this day. How is it supposed to translate to growth and development for you? What are the things you need to do to ensure that today is not just one of the other days that was celebrated and forgotten? Something that will leave a lasting impression in your mind long after today is over, at least till next year again. So when you're talking about the invest in girls' rights, our leadership, our well-being, I want to start from the very inception of womanhood, the very first place where the woman appeared. Now, to a large extent, you can't value the work of something or use it accordingly, except you know the purpose for which it was created. So when the purpose of something is not known, abuse is inevitable. Can you write that down? So what does that simply mean? It means that when you don't know the reason for something's existence, you tend to misuse it, you tend to abuse it. So if, for instance, they use paracetamol, for example, for, say, headaches, and because you feel a pain in your body, you think, okay, every pain must be paracetamol. There are some pains that they have to prescribe something stronger for you. There are some pains that they have to prescribe a different drug for you. But many of us, when we just think headache, paracetamol, whereas what the person might be going through might just be malaria and needs to treat malaria. But because you are not using it according to purpose, you just take it and swallow it because it is needed for that time. Is when you don't understand why something was created, you tend to misuse it, you tend to abuse it. So before we start talking about the rights of the girl child, our leadership, our well-being, let's go back to the beginning, when she was created and why she was created. And from there we then come down to today and see if we can draw the connection between that woman who God created and gave a mission and the woman we want to be today. Is that okay? Great. So the woman started with who? The lineage of womanhood started with who? What? Men? Eve. Yes, ultimately the woman was taken from the man, but in context of womanhood, I'm talking about Mother Eve. And we've heard so many things out there. Men saying the woman is the cause of all the troubles in this world. If the woman didn't eat the fruits, the world wouldn't have troubles. The woman is woe in man. The woman is this, the woman is trouble. And people say a lot of that because of ignorance. And if there's any one of you here who has ever believed that the existence of a woman is synonymous to the existence of trouble, I'm here to tell you that that is not true. And let's even assume when Eve fell and she made the mistake, and man fell and they sinned against God, it was still the woman that God said he was going to use to redeem mankind. How do I know? When God came and said, "What are you doing? What have you done?" And Adam said, "It is the woman you gave me that caused the wahala." So this is not the first time that men will blame women for things. Adam said it. He said, "It's the woman you gave me that pushed me to it." And God left him and came to meet the woman and said, "Woman, what is this thing that you have done?" And then she said, "Of course, the serpent beguiled me." But when God started talking about the consequences of their action, God wasn't pronouncing judgment. God was just telling them, "This thing you've done, this is what will happen. You will give birth in sorrow. You will, for the man, you will till the ground. It will be this, it will be hard and all." God was telling them, "This disobedience you have done, these are the things that will happen next." However, God didn't just stop there to tell them the problem they have created. He also told the woman that, "Woman, it is your seed that will bruise the head of the serpent." That same serpent that deceived you into disobeying me, it is your seed that would bruise the head of the serpent. And when that happened, Adam looked at Eve and said, he named her, that was when he named her Eve. What does Eve mean? Life giver. That means the death that happened when they sinned against God, it was still the woman God was going to use to bring life to change and redeem mankind. So when any man says woman is the cause of your trouble, or the cause of the troubles on earth, it's because the man is ignorant. Because as after that incident, it was still the woman that God said, "I will use to bring life to everybody." So it's very simple. If you sin against God, you die. That was the rule. The wages of sin is death. You sin against God, you die. But God said, from the womb of the woman, the wombed man, I will bring forth life to redeem the world. So from the four, what is the original purpose for this woman's creation? To give life. They call her the wombed man, the man with a womb. So no matter how Bobrisky dresses, no matter how Johnny Brown or Brown Johnny or whatever his name is, no matter James Brown, no matter how he dresses, he can never be a woman because he lacks the capacity to have a womb. Yes, he can never. So no matter how many girls decide to go transgender and change their body parts to look like a man, they can never be a man because they were created with a womb. And what is the essence of this womb? An incubation place to conceive, to bring forth life, to reproduce, to nurture. Those are the characteristics of a woman that no man on earth, no matter how much cosmetic surgery he does, can ever achieve. So please don't believe this nonsense that is out there that I am a boy in a girl's body. It's rubbish. It's rubbish. Absolute hogwash. When God created you without womb in you, he was not making a mistake. He created you as a life giver. That means that there is more to you than what people can see. Where is your womb? Is your womb on your face? Is your womb on your breast? Is your womb on your vagina? Oh, come on, tell me. Is your womb on your vagina? So that means when a boy decides that all there is to you is your breast, your private parts, and that's all he wants to get from you, he is misusing you. Do you understand me? Oh, no, you don't. The essence of a woman is found in her womb. Where is your womb? Deep down there in your stomach region, right? So that means that what your essence is more than what you carry on your body or what you don't carry. So there are some girls who are not maturing like other girls, and they begin to feel bad saying, "I'm not a complete woman because I am not maturing." That is incorrect. If you came to this world as a woman, you have the capacity to give life. That is where the essence of your person lies, not on what is on your body in different sizes and in different capacities. So So when a boy walks up to you and is telling you how beautiful you are looking, which is good, but all he's concerned about is what he can enjoy from your physical body, he is misusing you. Do you know that people misuse drugs like, okay, take for instance, codeine. Do you know codeine originally was just supposed to attend to cough and stop there? But people began to misuse it, in short, abuse it, and turn it into a drug that makes them high. Mix it with different things to make them high. Does that mean codeine is bad? No! Codeine in itself is not a bad drug. The quantity in which it is used is what determines if it is good or bad. So when God calls you, looked at you, and even Adam looked at Eve and said, in spite of everything that has happened, if God says this, the seed of redemption, if God says salvation will come through the woman, you are a life giver. That's what Eve means. He said life giver. When he said, and the woman, he named the woman Eve, life giver. That means that he's saying that in spite of how you look on the outside, your main purpose is found where? No. Your main purpose is found where? On the inside. That's why Apostle Paul, or it was James that was writing, he said, your as women, your beautification should not be as of outward appearance. It's good if you are beautiful. It's good to wear things, look good, make your hair nice. But if your inner beauty does not radiate out, you are useless. So what value are you placing on yourself on the inside? How are you nurturing that life you're supposed to be giving out? There are some women, all they have is debt. If they open their mouth, is debt everywhere. They do not have any, they do not even know how to pull life out of them. Everything they say is death. The Bible talks about it. It's very simple. If you say so, you can say life or death with your mouth. The power of life and death lies in the tongue. It's been repeatedly said that if a mother does not give up on a child, that child can never be done with. But the moment a mother says, your own is finished, that person should just go to a river and take sponge and go and be washing his head, because it is a big problem. But if the mother keeps kneeling down and insisting that you can be wayward though, but your life will not terminate there. You will find purpose, and she keeps at it. Let the child go to whatever length, the child will come back. That is the capacity found in a woman. We are the ones who have the capacity to train the next generation. And I need you to understand that your life is more than just you. You are a fine girl, fine. You are a small girl, fine. But remember that as a woman, you are responsible for the next generation, and you should treat yourself that way. You should start grooming yourself that way as someone who will be responsible for people after her. So if you've not taken care of yourself, how do you want to take care of people coming after you? And no, it's not until you become Auntie Esther's age before you have the capacity to train other people from where you are. There's someone younger than you that you can also lead. You don't wait till you're an adult in double quotes. Leadership for you as a woman starts from the point when you know right from wrong. You can lead your younger siblings. You can lead your friends. So when we are talking about finding the leadership right of a woman, it is not in the place of adulthood. It is in there in you. You just need to dig in and bring it out. So many women think, okay, it doesn't matter how many boys I sleep with. It doesn't matter what happens to me. I can do whatever I like with my body. Are they using the body correctly? No. If anybody, young ladies, if any young man or adult man, as long as he's a man or even a woman, comes to you and the purpose for which they are interacting with you is not to bring forth life, is not to translate to positive effect in your society, in your school, in your home, then they are misusing you. You know that why we call some things child abuse. You know why we say some things are molestations? It's because they are using this thing in the wrong way. So if someone is touching you who is not your husband and is doing it whether consistently or once, he is misusing you. this person is telling you that your worth is not more in your capacity to bring life, it is in the things he can see on your body. That is a misuse of us as women. So if you are standing up for your women's rights, that is what you should be standing up for. To say I am going to be used the right way. I'm going to allow my body to be used the way it should be used. Nobody is going to misuse my body. Nobody is going to make me feel inferior because I do not look like one speck they have in their heads. And also remember that to be able to lead, you need to recognize that leadership does not start when you get old. Leadership does not start when you become a mother. Leadership does not start when you become an auntie. Leadership starts from now. They've told us a lot. Children are the leaders of tomorrow. Please, I stopped believing that long time ago because we are still here waiting to be leaders and our fathers and grandfathers are still there. And then I realized you must be leaders of today. We must teach you to be able to lead today, because it is when you lead today, you'll be able to stand in front of those fathers and they will recognize your worth as someone who can fill in the shoes to lead the nation. Think about it. What are the ways in which I can improve the life the capacity of life that I have in there? What are the things that I can do to develop myself, to be able to give life truly as should be? What are the things I can do? What are the things I need to stop doing? What are the things I need to change? What are the steps I need to take now to ensure that this thing that is happening in my life, this constant misuse happening to me, ends quickly? And now, what should I do? What kind of life do I want to give birth to? Nations are born on the laps of women. Nations are born there. The power of a woman is limitless. They say give a woman a garden and she will turn it into, or give a woman a seed, she will turn it into a garden. What you give a woman, it has the capacity to turn into something big and beautiful. And the same applies in every area of life. So what are you doing to groom yourself? What books are you reading? Do you understand yourself as a woman? Do you understand your physiology? Do you understand how your body operates? So it is a known fact that when you're ovulating, do you even know what an ovulation is? And if you know what an ovulation is, do you recognize how your body acts during ovulation? You know that you are very sensitive to touch at that time. You want to stay away from some things. You want to keep your mind. Are you aware of how your body runs? Do you know what things make you angry? Do you know what things make you happy? Do you have a future, a goal for your future? So if your goal is, for instance, to be the president's wife, or no, to be the president of Nigeria, the first female president of Nigeria, if that is your goal, do you know you will live differently than from someone who doesn't know where she's going? So when they are sitting down and they are taking drugs and booze, you won't be found there, because your goal that you are working with, that life you want to give birth to, is what has taken over your passion. But when you do not know where you're going, it's easy to be swayed. They are doing this, you are there. A boy with 2 left legs is talking to you, you are happy. We can't find you anywhere. It's 2 left legs, huh? Any boy who has straight legs, we know that he should protect a woman till the day he has paid his dues before he touches her. But no, that's not what we have there. We have a society of youth who want to eat where they've not sown, who want to reap where they did not sow, who can't delay gratification. They can't wait for the right time to enjoy something. A guy has not paid his dues over you. He wants to start eating from that place. What form of sense is that? So if he is man enough, do the right thing. Meet my parents, set a date, let's get married and move on. Why do you want to eat me now when you've not paid for it? Isn't that a thief? No, tell me. But if you don't know your worth as a woman, it's easy for these two left legs to come and say anything. They'll just tell you you are beautiful and you've lost it. Don't you know that you were beautiful before he came to tell you? When I was in university year 1, those guys, they will come, there were a lot. And when they come, oh, do you know you're a fine girl? And I'm like, yes, I know. What else? They lose it. They don't know what else to say. Because, and I had a school daddy when I was in year 1, he was in year 5. When they are taking me in the car from one part of campus to another, they talk about girls with low self-esteem that they use. They'll just say, that one, if you just, no, you just tell her, say, she get fine leg, she go agree. And I will be in the car and they will be saying that about girls. So even hearing that, it gave me sense. So when a boy comes to me and says, oh, I like your lips, I say, yes, thank you, I know it's there. What else? They don't have anything to say. Because I'm confident in who I am. I know who I am. I don't need you to validate my beauty. Then you don't have power to tempt me or seduce me. But if every time you are looking for the first person, every time you dress up, you're asking 10 people, am I looking good? Is it looking good? Am I okay? Is it okay? You have a problem with your esteem. Deal with it. That's why many girls go from secondary school to university and they break out into something they can't even explain. Because they've been looking for that validation. And when you get to the university, you will find plenty boys who will come and be giving you that validation you are looking for to get something from you. Now that you have the time to guard your heart, now that you have the time to build your esteem, now that you have the time to build your resistance, what are you doing about it? You stand in the front of the mirror every day and tell yourself, Esther, you are beautiful. You are so beautiful. I've not seen anyone as beautiful as you are. If you like, don't believe it. I believe it. It's my beauty. Is it your beauty? It's my beauty now. So I believe my own. You should go and believe your own. By the time a boy comes and is telling me, oh, you are beautiful, Ogbeni, is there something else you want to tell me? So what are you doing to build your esteem as a woman? And a woman without esteem cannot lead, because everybody will be pressing a button. Everybody will know that, just go and tell Oga, say, Oga, you fine today, or she go agree. That is not the kind of leadership that we want a woman to portray. That's not the kind of leader we want a woman to be. So if you cannot be strong in yourself, you cannot lead. So much more than relationships, it translates to, even as mothers, if you are not strong, your children will press your button. People will press your button up and down. They will know that, just vex her, just vex her. Once you don't vex, you go collect her. They know your button. Why is your button outside for everybody to be pressing? A woman of strength knows how to guard her buttons. Her buttons are not outside for everybody to be pressing. She knows the things that she knows how she works, how her body works, how her mind works, and she can guard herself like that. What are you doing to become the woman of substance that God has made you to be? So regardless of what it is you are going through now, it does not yet look like it. Just keep eating. You know, a child, if a baby, look at the baby there. If the baby is concerned, every day the baby wakes up and is thinking, am I growing? Am I growing? Is it even possible? Does the baby think that way? No. All his own is, I'm hungry, eat. I'm hungry, eat. And as he's eating, he is what? As he's eating, he is growing. So that's all you need. Don't bother about, I don't look the way, I don't look like Agbani Darego, I don't look like Hilda Basi, I don't have figure eight like that. Leave it. You just feed yourself. Just feed. Feed. I don't feel like a woman of value. I don't look like the president of so and so. Leave it. Feed yourself. Feed on the right things. Read the right books. Stay with the right people. Listen to the right messages. Study the right things. And as you continue to feed yourself, you begin to grow till you get to the point where you can stand in a place of leadership and take control. Remember, leadership is not just at home. Leadership is also amongst your peers. Leadership is also in your school. Leadership is also at work. Leadership is out there. Even can you lead yourself? Can you decide what is right for yourself and follow through with it? So on today, where we are commemorating another World Girls Child Day, and we are talking about our rights, our ability to lead, our well-being, I would ask you, how are you treating yourself? Are you abusing yourself? Are you using yourself the right way God intended? Or are you allowing people to make a mess of you? Thank you very much. So, do we have questions?
Yes.
Oh, great. Let's start with you.
So they're trying to compare someone. And the person is like, they're not big, they're not this, and you are the same age, either you smell it. The person's like, they're not big, they're not this. What do you think?
Thank you. Okay, so our question is based on size this time around. Someone who is either older than or age mate is constantly looking down on her size. Baby girl, there is always a positive in every situation. There's always something good about you. Never focus on your negatives. Let's write that down. It's possible that there's nothing you can do about your size. So let's take, for instance, you were born with a big nose. And someone is always saying, your nose is big, your nose is big. What will you do about the nose, please? Who knows what you can do about it? You cut it off, Abi. Okay, what about Edwards? You are big head, big head. What will you do about the head? You break it down. You treat yourself. How will you bring your head down, please? Let me hear. Okay, they have bandage to reduce size of head. Now, I want you, there's something called the serendipity prayer. There are some things you can't change. It's not in your power. And you need wisdom to know the difference between the things you can change and the things you can't. So if, for instance, because this person is always saying, you are small, and then you go and take fattening drug and grow big. And when you want to rent an apartment, and the person says, I don't want, what tribe are you from? Calabar. I don't want Calabar people in my house, so no. What will you do to your tribe? You change your tribe. Can you change your tribe? There are some things you cannot change. So when people start talking about something about you, maybe like in your physical body, maybe a physical defect, it is okay for them to talk. It's okay for you to take feedback, but you should know the ones you can change and the ones you can't change. Okay, so you are fair, like my baby girl here. And the person says, see her face, very fair. And you go home and you are crying every day. Please, can you change your color to dark? I did not use dark because I know plenty things are happening. But I know you can't turn yourself to black. But I know some black are turning to. So I won't use that example. But you can't change to a dark-skinned person. So if you don't have the wisdom to know that there are some things I can't change, let me learn to live with it. You will just put yourself in many troubles. So today someone comes and says, you are not fat. You went to do a fattening room. Someone comes and says, why you call fat like this? You go ask, whose life are you living? You are living the life for the person now. So everybody that comes and says you are not tall enough, you start wearing 6 inches. And another person comes and says, why you dey wear 6 inches? You start wearing flat. Whose life are you living? When will you learn to be a woman of yourself and make your own decisions? So baby girl, they tell you are small, you say thank you and let it slide. What can you do about it? Remember what we said? Keep eating. One day, suddenly, you will break forth. Second question there. How do you build your self-esteem? Beautiful. That's a topic in itself. I think that will be the topic for discussion the next time I come. But very simply, you build your self-esteem first by the things you accept about yourself. What are the things you tell yourself? See, there's a popular saying that says, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. So if you don't accept that someone is telling you, look at her, she's not fine. If you don't accept it, you cannot feel inferior. So building your self-esteem comes in, first of all, knowledge. What do you know about yourself? What are you focusing on? Are you focusing on the things you don't have or on the beautiful things you have, your strengths? So someone comes and says, you're not even fine. Look at, thank you, but you know many other areas in your life where you are doing well. focus on those ones and leave that one. Of course, if it is a behavioral defect, you will work on it, right? Work on it and become a better person. Develop yourself. How do you improve your self-esteem? Improve your self-worth. What are you worth? Your self-worth comes from knowledge. What knowledge do you have? Are you studious? What are the things you are doing to become personal development, to become a better person? So part of, there was some of the youths that I mentored last year. One of the ways, this girl was in a relationship where he was just a guy with two left legs, obviously. And when I insisted that relationship needed to end and she ended it, one of the ways we began to build our self-esteem was to open our eyes to the possibilities in front of her. So before, this girl used to write notes for people and they pay her. But she never knew she was of any worth until we started telling her, this thing you are doing is good business. Look at the potentials. These are the things that will come from it. We started investing our money in dollars. And she started feeling like, oh, now, so me to have dollars. Ah, babe, you be big girl, oh. Not two left legs, you come. And little by little, she started developing her esteem. Dress well, look good. Be confident in yourself. Don't allow the things people say that are negative, please. That are negative to determine how you look at yourself. Declarations, confessions, talk to yourself. As I said, stand in front of a mirror, look at yourself and say you are powerful. You are a woman of strength. You are a woman of virtue. You will stand with kings and princes. You will rule up. When you keep telling yourself, even if you don't believe it the first day, one day you will believe it. And then when somebody comes to chip away at your pride, to say something to demean you, it won't affect you. So we'll talk about building self-esteem in the next class, in the next session. But for today, that's just a summary of something you can do to build your esteem. Talk to me there.
What are the things that you do to become a leader?
Okay, so we are talking about developing your leadership capabilities. And that's what it's all found in knowledge. One very important part of developing your leadership capabilities is taking responsibilities. You cannot become a leader if every time they say, who will lead us in doing this job? You are the back. Who will handle this thing for us? You are running away. Who will do this? You are not to be found. Who will manage the class? You are not there. Who will lead them? In short, there's nothing they call you to that you are there. You are not developing your leadership capabilities. Leaders take responsibility. So even before it is required of them, they spot problems and fix them. They spot problems and are driven to fix them. Those are leaders. So how do you develop your lead? Take responsibilities. Much more than taking responsibilities of other people. Take responsibility for your own actions. Don't say, I did it because someone else did it. They say, why did you slap her? I slapped her because she spoke to me anyhow. Those are two different things. You don't have control over what people do. You only have control over what you do. That is leadership. You know, I said something, lead yourself first. Take responsibility for your actions and inactions. If you fall into sin, I've told you my story, at least many of you. There was a time when I used to masturbate and fall into pornography consistently, and I will blame it on my auntie who molested me when I was 10. And in as much as I continued that thing of, is my auntie, I fell into pornography again today. Isn't it my auntie that molested me? Why did she molest me? Tell me, God, you were seeing her when she was molesting me. Why didn't you stop? Because as I continued referring to the woman as the cause of my actions, I could never overcome it. The day I began to overcome it came when I said, Esther, if you check pornography, it is your fault. Esther, if you masturbate, it is your fault. From the point I was able to make that decision and be responsible for myself, I began to find victory over my struggles. So some of you say, I'm angry. Why were you? Why didn't you control your anger? Didn't you hear the way she spoke to me? No. We heard the way she spoke to you, but you cannot control what people do. The only thing you can control is what you do. If you've not written that, I want you to write it down. I cannot control what people do. I cannot control what people do.
Right.
I cannot control what people do.
You're not to be checked. If you're not writing, you are wrong.
I can only control what I do. I can only control what I do. So, you don't get from today, you don't get to say, I did this thing because somebody did. That was the problem in the garden. Adam, why did you sin? I did it because of evil. Eve, why did you sin? I did it because of serpent. So, no, we can't continue like that. You need to learn to take responsibility for your action. That is the beginning of leadership. Lead yourself. Be responsible. If they say, oh, what, my children, they do it alone. You know how children can be. They will blame each other. And when they start, I cut them. Stop. So I shouted at my brother because since you heard the way he was talking, I mean, no, stop. You shouted at your brother. Let's deal with that. Why did you raise your voice? Accept it. I was angry. I lost control. Simple. Then we deal with that. But if you tell me that because someone did something is why you are doing something, the day you hear that your pastor raped one girl in church, you will go on the street and start sleeping around. Because you've linked your actions to what people do. And that's the problem. See, it's just men of God, our pastors, everybody, our leaders, they are human beings. The best of a man of God is still a man. So there is nothing that he can do. At some point, he will make mistakes. And when he does, how does it affect you? But when you know that I can't control what people do, I only control the things I do. If he makes a mistake, you say, I'm sorry for you, I pray for you, but that will not determine the things I will do. So leadership starts with you, first of all. And then when you are in the process of leading yourself, you step forward and take responsibilities in different places you find yourself. Most times, the leaders are not the brightest people. The people who become leaders, our president is not the brightest person in Nigeria. He's not the smartest in Nigeria. He's the person who came forward and said, I will lead. So you will be there with all your wisdom. And somebody who doesn't know what he's doing will come out and be leading all of us. Because people who know what they are doing have refused to step forward to lead the people. But it doesn't come in one day from little things like this. Oh, you need to arrange the chairs. Oh, okay, I'll monitor it. Miss Faith, you can go. I will undo this. And they begin, your educators are watching you. Oh, she's doing well. That is developing leadership capabilities. I think that's all for today. Thank you very much.